Okay, hello everybody to a new edition of the BioRN member-to-member session that we're streaming live from the BioRN offices today. After the summer break, we are starting this format again today and will present member companies on a monthly basis, providing you with exciting information about the founding history, vision and mission, of course the people and the technologies and services of many impressive companies shaping our life science ecosystem. Today we are looking at Novaliq, a company that has set a milestone in the treatment of dry eye disease with its innovative technology. In 2015, the company successfully launched EduTears. August 23, the application for marketing authorization for Cyclosol, which is a new investigational product for the treatment of dry eye disease that do not respond to tear substitutes, was accepted. And on Friday, Novaliq received the approval for the market authorization in Europe for Vevisi. So, innovation is not only a few weeks away, but already there, and there's no better time than today to take a closer look at the Novaliq success story, which began just a stone's throw away from our office in the Technology Park. To this end, I'm particularly pleased to be able to interview Christian Röski, CEO of Novaliq. Nice to have you here, Christian.
Well, it's great to be here and to kick off actually the after summer member-to-member sessions. Yeah.
Definitely, and we'll start usually, as you might know, with a warm-up question.
Yes,
Christian.
I know.
If we have finished this interview today, how would you like to sweeten up the next couple of hours with BioRN M&Ms or with BioRN gummy bears?
Well, I think the gummy bears because they're already open. And I'm coming from Cologne area, and Haribo is Bonn, and I studied chemistry in Bonn. So I think that's a nice analogy.
So, great. I'll give you this, and we make that, and we can start with our first question, Christian. Let's start with the introduction of yourself. Would you share with us your career journey and your motivation working in this field and working for Novaliq?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Christian Röski. I'm a chemist by training, and then I have to say I'm a maniac and passionate about eye care. So actually I'm doing this now for 25 years, and actually had a good life at big pharmaceutical companies, made it from a junior product manager to a senior executive. And then I got this famous phone call, actually of the predecessor of Novaliq, and said, well, Christian, we want you to look into the role of becoming the CEO of Novaliq, take the helm, and bring that company to the next level. Well, you can imagine that was an interesting discussion in both ways, because I had no idea what is biotech about, and obviously having the CEO looking for his own successor is an own story by itself. Well, cutting a long story short, I joined in 2016. Well, it was the best move of my life, I guess.
Great, and I think it was a very far-sighted and strategically decisive step by the former CEO Bernhard Günther, as he had recognized that in addition to innovation, it would be crucial for the company's success to bring further expertise into the company in order to successfully take the steps to market development. So, and that is the perfect segue to my next question, Christian, as I'd like to spotlight the founding story of Novaliq. When has all begun, and what was the motivation and vision at that time?
Yeah, that's really an interesting question, because we are celebrating 20 years of inception of the company next week. So that goes back to 2004. So at that time there was a company based here in Heidelberg that has been working on medical devices with the technology that we are today using. But some guys at the company, Bernhard Günther including that, he had the vision that we want to develop a water-free topical therapy to overcome all the limitations of traditional therapies in eye care, in basically skin care, in ENT, even in artificial respiration for filling up lungs. So really big picture. But the story really started then in 2007 when we got the first investment from the Divini Hawk Biotech GmbH. So that really set the ground, and then the vision at that time Actually, we have now fulfilled. I mean, some people are wondering why I'm wearing this shirt. I mean, we are actually very proud because the vision of 2004, we actually fulfilled, I think last year, was 2 FDA approvals in the month of May. And I think that tells a story that it takes time, but you need to have really people that are forward thinking and question everything that is out there.
And with this in mind, Novaliq developed the ISO technology, which we will hear about in more detail later. Can you tell us a bit more about the major efforts and development of the company since the foundation?
Yeah, so what we did is we basically replaced water, that you can see here, with something that looks like water. It actually has the same refractive index like water, but it's exactly not water. It's just the opposite. So you can imagine, when we talk about development, we had to do everything. So the first question the founders had to ask them, okay, thank you for the idea, because this is a liquid that looks like, is it safe? My first question before I joined the company, is it safe? Yeah. And the second question is then you have to explore really the universe, because if you have a water-free topical therapy, you need to think about what are the medical applications, what are the physical chemical properties, how does it work? And that obviously took a long time. And then they had this moment of breakthrough in 2012, 2013, when actually our first product in Europe was approved at that time as a medical device. But that was really the coming out, and then people basically got really excited about the company. More investments came in, and they were asking the question, "Gosh, what can you do more?" And obviously, we can do a lot, and obviously have been moving to, I think, very successful in the area of dry eye disease and other areas in ophthalmology.
And what is the mission today?
So the mission,
everything obviously, but
yeah, obviously. We are celebrating still on the success of the past. I think that's important because they are the foundation for the future. And actually our license partners around the world, they keep us fairly busy. You can see that we have approvals now in the United States for 2 drugs. We have approvals for 3 products in Europe very recently for a drug centrally approved for the first time ever in an indication of dry eye disease. And we're working in China. So we have a lot of things going on. There will be more applications. But I think what's very important for us, we were asking us the question a few years ago, is this the end of the story? Is there anything that we can do, or is it just dry eye and then we stop here? And so we put a lot of effort there and exploring more. And we realized, gosh, the sky's the limit. And now we are moving from front of the eye therapies, where we have shown already success. We're moving now to back of the eye diseases. And the vision is that we can treat retina chronic diseases with a topical eye drop. And we are releasing patients today from getting injections. Because all these therapies only work if you get them injected with a needle into the eye. And this burden is obviously holding back a lot of innovation, because nobody would like to have a needle in the eye. So this can be very groundbreaking. We know it's full of failures previously, but everybody was playing with water. So we think with our magic component of a water-free technology and all the knowledge we're having, we already have data and science in hand to move the needle again.
Okay, so this magic innovation sets the course for further growth. And to understand what the future of Novaliq might look like, it is interesting to look back a bit at the important strategic and entrepreneurial decisions the company has made. So if you look back at the beginnings of Novaliq in terms of strategy, company structure, what has changed over the years and what has significantly characterized the development of Novaliq?
Yeah, I would say many things change within 10-15 years, but I think the most visible thing is most likely the people. And it's actually not the mindset. The mindset is, I think, the same as it has been 15 years ago. But when you think about it, as a biotech company, you move from an entrepreneur, let's say, to an FDA-approved drug. There are many stages in between that are dramatically changing. So you will have to learn the skills of ramping up manufacturing. You have to learn the skill of running clinical trials in a pivotal pace. Yeah? You have to learn submitting NDAs. And some of the things you can learn, but you want to be fast as a biotech, so not everything can be learned. So one of the things that I can say with my own hiring was that my predecessor, Bernhard, he realized to really go that path, we need a different leader. Taking the helm and then bringing the company to the next level. Very interesting. I think I never heard about a CEO in his best age basically saying, well, I'm stepping down because there's somebody else that we need to bring the company to the next level. But to be honest, he already did this in other areas. So he brought in a clinical development expert from Big Pharma. We brought in CMC expert from big pharmaceutical companies. And I think that's one of the success stories of Novaliq, that we have been very agile in bringing in new talents in areas where we need expertise. But we are also very proud that we have people with 15 years of tenure in the company. They're still there. You will see maybe later in the video, a few of them are already in there. And they have evolved in the company, and we would be nowhere if they would not be there as well. So I think that's the challenge of management team in biotech. You need to be agile, and you need to take, I think, sometimes difficult decisions to really stay on the vision. And sometimes then you have to let even people go and get other talents in just to complete the mission.
Yeah, I understand. So do you think, although we are facing a war of talents, of course, located in the Rhine-Neckar region with its pool of excellent talents is an advantage for you?
Definitely.
Okay.
I hear about the war of talent. I'm sure it's existing. I would say I have not experienced it yet because of Heidelberg. I think the ecosystem is just phenomenal. I think we all can do more, including myself, in networking. But I think we found two things. One is we found the talents that help our company. And actually we had difficult times because we had to let go people a few years ago because of success. We sold one of our key products. So we had to let 20 people, 25 people go, and they all found a new job because of the ecosystem. And I think that's it's really one of the stellar, I would say, technology areas for healthcare in, I would say, in Europe, not only in Germany.
So now let's have a look at the company video the team has prepared for you. And yeah, let's have a look at it.
Hi and welcome here at Novaliq. I'm Stephanie, HR manager, and I will give you a little insight of our company today and also introduce you to some of my colleagues. So come and follow me along.
Hi, that's Martin from Novaliq. I'm the VP of CMC here, taking care for development, manufacturing, regulatory support of our products. Working at Novaliq is real fun, and you gain successes from your hard work, getting approval in several countries, especially FDA.
Hi there, my name is Emanuele. I'm part of the CNC team here at Novaliq, and together with my colleagues we take care of product development, development of manufacturing processes, and drafting of CMC relevant regulatory documents.
Hi, my name is Alice Midas, Director Clinical Development here at Novaliq. I am working with a skilled and highly motivated team in the Medical Science and Regulatory Affairs department. With the approval of products in the European Union and US, we have proven to work successfully in our small, agile and cross-functional team. Thanks and bye!
Hi, I'm Timo. I'm Director of Analytical Development here at Novaliq. Today I want to show you the lab, but before we start, welcome! This is our QC lab. Here are all of our gas chromatographs. And one of my favorite instruments is right over there. Welcome! This is the area where we prepare most of our samples for research and development. Some of our components are very potent, so it's better to protect yourself.
Well, thank you very much for this great video. I would like to learn the trick behind. It would save me some minutes in the morning.
It's magic.
It is always
Painted
magic at Novaliq, yeah. Before I ask my next question, I would like to invite the attendees to write your questions in the chat, and I will ask them at the end of this interview. So Christian, now let's dig deeper into the magic of the technology. We've heard about the central research question, how can I make active ingredients available and effective in water-free carriers, and brought up the isol technology. Could you please outline the scientific approaches and the science in the background of your innovation?
Okay, that's a good question. I mean, we all know eye drops. I think eye drops were invented, I don't know, 3,500 years ago in old Egypt. And we are taking them multiple times, millions of times every day. And what I didn't know, although working in ophthalmology, that if you were to take an eye drop, the bioavailability of the drug that is inside the drop is the lowest in medicine. So only 1 to 10% of an API that we put in a traditional eye drop only reaches the target tissue. So there was a smart guy, not me, because Bernhard and some other scientists, that said, okay, what's driving that? I mean, is it the API or the eye? Everything is against you. And they realized, smartly, it's water. So water seems to be natural to be used as a carrier for the eye because we have a tear film, but unfortunately there's a lipid layer over the tear film. So water is not really getting on the eye and can deliver drugs. So he came with the idea, let's get water all the way. And then obviously we need something that replaces water, that it should look like water, it should have the same refractive index like water. So they came up with a whole new substance class from scratch. And that's what we call isol. This is based on our patents. And that actually is how our story really started to ramp up. We could show it's safe. And then obviously we had all these medical successes because we got water out of the way.
Great. And to summarize some more USPs, it is micro-dosed and do not accumulate in human tissue and do not require chemical preservatives, right?
You did great research.
I learned a lot.
I mean, it's like, water has specific physics. So the water drop is actually too big, and we can customize the drop, it's not preserved. But I think in the end, these are only features. Important is what drugs are providing value to patients. And they don't care if it's water, they care it's safe and it's efficacious.
So now that your product, WebEye, is going to reach the patients, if you now again look back and summarize in one sentence what the main driving forces behind the company's success are.
Yeah, I think I would say the most important thing was we did what we did because we believed in what we are doing and we were following the science, because honestly everybody was talking us out of that. Don't do that, it will never work, because when you do something that is very different from anything that anybody ever tried, most of the people will be against you, and only a few obviously that will support you. And the most important thing is That's the reason why we have biotech, because we're exactly challenging the paradigms of today and moving them to a next level. Yeah.
Great. So I think Novaliq has retained the founder spirit over the years, and with it, one could say a certain freedom, as growth is not seen as the only decisive success factor, right?
Well. So, I would argue we need to deliver value to patients, but obviously to shareholders as well. Drug development is complicated. It's full of surprises, dead ends, and obviously sometimes even dead ends. And in the end, I think we're very proud that we can deliver value back to our shareholders as well. But we do this obviously through the value that we're providing to patients. Obviously curing not a disease, but often doing, clinically meaningful successes that were not even think about in the past. So I think it's a balance, and as a CEO, you're responsible to move on science, but you're also responsible to deliver value to shareholders. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. Are there any questions from the audience so far? This would now be the right moment to ask them. Okay, just waiting. Haven't received yet. Oh, we have time.
Hopefully it's nobody asking because this shirt is outdated, as you nicely pointed out, because last week we got the EMA approval.
Right.
We are working on new shirts right now. Yeah?
Okay,
So if this might be a question, I can answer that immediately.
Okay, we have some questions. Can you give some additional details about how this magic substance works? It needs water-like properties, but at the same time not. How?
Okay, that's a very good question. So what we are doing is we take an APIs in this water-free technology, and we put this on the eye. And the first thing is a classical water drop only stays on the eye for 1 minute. Then it's basically wiped away. And our technology stays on the eye for 4 to 6 hours. So we have much more residual time. And then when we want to enter the ocular surface tissues, the epithelium, conjunctiva, they are actually lipophilic. So lipophilic means they hate water, but they love lipophilic media. And actually our technology is lipophilic, so it enters the ocular surface, unloads the API, and if you have a disease there, for instance in our case it's dry eye disease, you actually really deliver the API to the target tissue. And then we can nicely show in animal experiments that we can 4, 5, 6 times increase the amount of API we can deliver to the target tissue. So we can have higher bioavailability, although we take lower concentrations. And with lower concentrations, you have less side effects. Less side effects means more safety, and in the end, it works in all the indications that we tried. And these are way more than just dry eye disease.
Thank you very much. And there's another question. Can you discuss any recent partnerships or collaborations that have significantly influenced your company's direction?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, I'm struggling with that. Obviously, I have a lot of collaborations from a commercial point of view because we have partners across the world. I had some collaborations on R&D, but there were more, let's say, contract R&D requirements. Yeah. I have very good collaborations on the manufacturing side. I think that's very much needed. But what I would like more is, I think that's a subject for biotech, is that we collaborate as an industry, as a space earlier in really solving problems. So imagine in eye care, I know eye care pretty well on my team as well, but obviously if I take my technology and think about, let's go into dermatology or ENT, I think I need to collaborate early on because I don't have the skill knowing ENT or dermatology. And I see there's at least a hesitation in small companies and biotech companies to do this early on because everybody's sitting on their own value, their own challenges and their own vision. And sometimes I think collaboration on the biotech level could really foster really innovation to really make breakthrough things, and we can only do this jointly.
Okay. So I have one last question. If you have more questions for Christian, of course you know where you will find him, over just a stone's throw, now I got the word, away from our office.
Don't throw the stone.
Don't throw the stone, but pass by and ask the questions.
Just come by.
Yeah. So, next question. When conducting clinical research on eye disease, the limited sample volumes present a significant challenge. How do you overcome these limitations?
So if I understand the question correctly, we don't have that kind of issue because we can, I mean, our drug we basically have administered with 10 microliter and then running clinical trials like any other clinical trial. You develop clinical trial material, you monitor your patients, you recruit and you run. So it's very traditional. The only thing I would say when you run it in eye care, everybody's used to use water-based drops. I mean, we all do this, yeah. And if you take our technology, it's different. It's different because first of all, often you don't feel it. The drop is very small. The drop is different from, let's say, the feeling. So water drops feel very different than ours. Ours are very silky, smoothie, and you can tell. So yes, you have issues with blinding. And you need to be very careful in doing that. But I stopped counting the number of studies we have been running successfully in the areas. It's more than 10. And our trials have been replicated even outside our hands. So I can assure at least the ASCA, we have the knowledge how to run, at least my team, like Alice and the others in the video, they have the knowledge to run that nicely, and it's all accepted by FDA, EMA, and all the other authorities around the world.
Right.
But a great question, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your questions. Almost coming to an end, but two more questions we have time for. It's one is the company is part of a strong innovation network, of course. How can you help other members, and how can other members support you?
Yeah, I think let's come back to that. I think I want to do more networking, and obviously I'm traveling a lot. 50% of the time I'm in the airplane, so if you want to find me, you better go to Frankfurt Airport. Yeah. But I think we can only learn from each other, and I think I really want to move the idea of collaboration really to a level where we can do things jointly together in areas that we, as an individual company or person, we would never have touched. And I think these are areas we can only explore being creative, sitting together and having crazy ideas. And if biotech is not designed for crazy ideas, I mean, gosh, where you want to go, yeah? But I think that's something, obviously, I would like to foster more. And on the other hand, yes, I mean, we had our success, and I think if others want to learn from that, vice versa, I think it's always a good idea to come by. I was just with another company here in the technology park yesterday, and you can learn so many things just with a 1.5 hour visit. It's amazing. Yeah. Let's do more of that. Yeah.
Wonderful. So we are very, very happy for this statement, and we're definitely come back to.
Good to have you guys.
Yes. Right. Right. Thank you very much. We're at an end for today. It was really amazing to learn more about the story of Novaliq. Very enthusiastic learning more in the future. And for the audience, I'd like to mention that this interview will be soon available, of course, on our website. And see you back in October on the 17th with a new member-to-member interview with Klaus Kremoser and Irina Charapisca from VMT AG. Right, so thank you very much. Looking forward to see you at one of our next events, especially the BioRN annual conference on the 9th of October. And have a good time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me. I'll take this one.
All right.